What's up, guys? So today I'm going to show you how to change the start button on your F series BMW. This applies to the new G series BMWs as well because they use the same size engine start button and the little auto start stop part right here. As you can see, mine is pretty crummy and gummed up, and I tried this Amazon button right here. This one's like supposed to be a red crystal style button. I don't particularly like it because of how far it pokes out. So I bought a replacement on eBay. It's a factory one with a blue engine start button, so I'll show you how that looks. And I'm going to show you guys how to remove this dash piece in order to gain access to this button here. So the tools you're going to need either a trim removal tool or a flathead screwdriver. If you do end up using a flathead, I would recommend like some tape or a glove to cover the end, because you're going to kind of need to pry this bottom, this bottom piece. So you don't want to damage your dashboard, so you want to cover that hard edge with something. And then you'll need some Torx bits, T30 I believe, which is for the 3 bolts that hold this on the back. So let me start popping this off and I'll show you how that looks. So I'm just going to take the glove here and wrap it around the edge of the screwdriver. I'm going to try to wrap it a few times to really protect the end. And then I'm just going to find a spot, preferably not where the glove box lid is. You want to get somewhere like over here where it's more solid. Get that in there. And this dash is really just held on with clips, so once you can get your fingers under there, you can just pull this thing out. But don't pull too hard towards the ends because you'll crack, potentially break the clips or the trim piece itself. So try to pull as even as you can. Give it a good yank. See, and then it just pops free there. And then you kind of just work along here. Same thing over here, closer to the steering wheel area. There we go, so those clips. So the most brittle part of this job is the AC vents. They get a lot of heat and cold transfer, so they tend to get brittle over time. So if you are doing this and removing this piece, that's the most likely part to crack, so just be aware of that. So then you just kind of pull it out here, and you're kind of going to get caught up with the dash vents here. And then there's not too much to damage here. I mean, you can put a towel if you want. I don't really have one right now, but I'm just going to kind of tilt it down like this. And then that's kind of going to hang. So now that we've got most of the dash off, or most of this trim off and removed, there's just the plug right there for the auto start stop button. And here, I'll give you a little more light there. And you just need to undo that clip there. So let me do that. Just kind of this one can get stuck in there. So here we go. So that kind of fell there. That's not ideal, but I'm trying to do it one-handed, and this interior isn't mint. It's not in bad shape, but it isn't mint either. So there's the 3 Torx bolts. Those are T30s, so 1, 2, and 3. You just zip those out. Well, actually, they're not T30s. They're like a T15. I don't know what I was thinking. But there's 3 of them. You just zip those right out. So let me do that, and then I'll show you how it looks removed. So right now, I'm just getting out the other 2 bolts. I've got one out so far. So just kind of twist it there. Just trying to hold this still and film. So then once all the bolts are out, this kind of just wiggles out. It can be a little awkward, but it can be a little awkward just because you're trying to lift part of it from under that. So it's just a bit. There we go. So once it comes up, and you can kind of pull it out. But you want to just be careful with the trim piece there because you don't want to break any of this plastic. So now that the button's out, you can see This one's pretty cruddy. Looks like it's been painted over. You know, I got this crystal start button off of Amazon. It looks clean enough itself. That's really just the trim around it that's messed up, but I don't know, it looks too cheap to my eyes. And then look how far that pokes out. To me, it should be way more flush. So that's just not a good look. So then let me grab the new one and show you what that looks like. All right, so here's the new start button. This one's blue. This is a factory button from eBay. Someone must have taken it off or something like that, or maybe they're just selling it new. It looks brand new, but this is super cool. I'm gonna go ahead and install it now, and the installation process is literally just the reverse. You can kind of see the clips on the trim piece here. They're just metal clips, and they go ahead and push into the dashboard here in these spots. So once you get your button back in, you get the bolts back in, I'll show you that process. You literally just line up the trim piece and then you kind of punch it in, and it just sits right back in as long as your clips are good to go. So let me get started with that. Okay, so now the button is bolted in, and the dashboard is, or the trim piece for the dashboard is just right here. So it's resting on my leg, and I'm gonna try to hold the phone and line it up. So you wanna make sure the vents just go in this area here. I'm just gonna try to line it up, and then show you what it looks like when you reinstall this. So you literally just, it's super easy. I mean, this thing is one big piece. You just kind of line it up there, see where it fits in. So it's kind of fitted already there. So then at this point, you want to make sure all your little rubber and styrofoam pieces here are not caught under the edges here, because you can potentially break wires or break some styrofoam pieces. But just make sure all that's tucked and in there. Make sure this is lined up, and then you literally just give it a good punch, and then it sits in. So watch, I'll show you. See, just goes right in. Same with the ends. So now it's nice and seated, it's nice and flush again. So again, be careful with the vents here. I would hit it like kind of right here if you don't want to damage anything. And up there. And then this part usually goes in already, but just give it a good, there we go. Make sure it's all in there. So now the dashboard is back together. Nice new start button. Nice and blue, pretty. BMW blue. So mission accomplished. That's how you change the start button in your F-Series BMW. So this is an F10 M5 that I'm sitting in. This is mine. This applies to G30 BMWs as well, G80s, any G-Series BMW, any F-Series BMW. That's how you remove the center trim piece and install yourself a brand new start button. So this is the after. Looks way better. So now here's how the start button looks. Let me turn off the light so you can see it illuminated better. So that looks sick with that blue color. So mission accomplished, guys. That's how you change the start button in your F-Series and G-Series BMW. Doesn't matter what model, it just needs to be an F-Series or G-Series. Thanks for watching.